Well, hello there, my friends. Today we're taking a look at the most recent DLC for Field of Glory 2 Medieval, and that is Storm of Arrows. From the early 14th century, the battlefield dominance of the mounted knight was increasingly challenged by the rising power of the foot soldier. We're going to jump in here and essentially take a look at what this particular DLC has to offer. Already, I'm quite impressed. Really puts a big focus on the 100 Years' War, I believe. So we're really going to have a chance to take a look here and see what's going on. So number one, of course, the great battle of Agincourt. I'm sure people are going to want to see this one, of course, the British against the French, and quite possibly one of Henry V, or just, England's greatest battles of all time. We've even got over here the Battle of Aljubarrota, which is basically the Castilians against the Portuguese, and this is really, at least for me as a Portuguese person, an extremely important battle. We've got the Battle of Crecy, so a number of really amazing looking battles here, including some like Kulikovo, which really have to do with almost the end of the Golden Horde of the great Mongols. Just an amazing fight here. Now, I think today we're going to take a look at Agincourt because, come on, the Battle of Agincourt is just one of those battles that everybody knows about, everybody wants to see. So let's do that, take a look. Before that, though, I am going to jump over here. Let's go to main menu. And I just want to make sure to take a look here at the campaigns. I'm wondering which specifically are going to be Reign of Arrows campaigns. I'm pretty sure Sir John Hawkwood is going to be one of them, and this is evidently just an Essex landowner that was that started his military career in the 100 Years' War as, of course, a longbowman. Really interesting stuff here in terms of the different things you get to play. But enough of that. I want to jump right into the epic battles. You guys know that at least on this channel, that's what I tend to stick with. So let's jump into the epic battles here, specifically Agincourt. I don't think it's hard to make a choice as to who I'm going to play as, definitely as England, to see if we can't relive that glorious victory. Welcome to the Battle of Agincourt, my friends. I could not be happier with the look of the fight here. I mean, a lot of the Field of Glory 2 and Field of Glory 2 medieval battles, they almost kind of look quite similar because that line is almost always kind of a straight line. But here we have sort of a concave pattern waiting for the French to advance with their knights. And just look at that. We've got heavily armored French men-at-arms. I also like how this recreates the reality of the battle. All too often, media depictions of this battle will just show these French, the mounted knights, but there were a lot of Frenchmen off their horses, advancing into the British line. Well, we're going to get started here as the English and hopefully shut down the French once and for all and gain a glorious victory here at Agincourt. We've got the important folks, Sir Thomas Erpingham. We've got, of course, the great... Where is he? Where is the king? Well, we've got Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, but more importantly, we've got King Henry V. And of course, I'm going to keep him way back here. I don't want him getting killed. I certainly don't want to risk his life, but I think I'm going to start off just right away trying to down those French knights. In fact, I'm not even going to push forward. I think that might be a bit of a mistake. Let's just stay put. I will turn here with the Duke of York. And try to get a shot if I can, but I'm probably just going to let them kind of move into this area and then begin peppering them with arrows. I've got a number of different longbowmen here. I might just push forward with some of these guys just to get them a little bit closer, just a little bit closer, so that we get some early shots. But besides that, I really want to let the enemy fall right into our trap, and hopefully we shoot them down little by little. Now, another interesting thing here, I'm not sure this is specific to this particular DLC. I don't think it is, but we can, of course, go ahead and place stakes, make it a little more difficult for the enemy to come on through and attack this line. So let's go ahead for now. I'm just going to hold. We are going to end the turn, as a matter of fact. Let the French push forward. And what we will do, guys, throughout this video is we're going to take a look at many of the battles. Well, I'm not going to say many, but we're going to take a look at a few of the battles. I'll probably make a separate video specifically on the Battle of Agincourt or other fights, but I really just want to give you guys sort of a visual representation of what is to be expected in this DLC. And look at that. Things are going exactly as we want them to, firing at those mounted knights as they approach, and hopefully we can disrupt or completely rout one of these units almost before the fight has even begun. So there we go. I'll also get some shots here on the men-at-arms. And I must say, as always, they really have outdone themselves with the unit models here. It seems like every time they look prettier and prettier, but just about everybody on this field looks absolutely epic. Wouldn't mind having some miniatures that look this good, to be honest with you. Again, turning and firing, just trying to make use of those bows. And I will push forward with Humphrey, the Duke of Gloucester, just so that we have some melee support in this particular fight. I'm also going to push forward with these longbowmen, just trying to maximize damage, as you can see there. And let's do the same on this side. Really try and shoot down those French knights. Get some glory to our men on the field. There we go. They did hold firm. We almost got a disruption there once again. Oh, another hold firm. Let's turn and fire. Okay, finally got that disruption. And again, I don't want to push out too far. Kind of want to keep things pretty simple. But if I have a chance at breaking one of these units early on, I'm absolutely going to take that chance. I think that's it for now. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Turn it over to the French. Oh, the charge begins, but it looks like we managed to push back that first attack. And again, these longbowmen are also pretty adept at hand-to-hand combat. A lot of people think that they can only fire arrows. Not necessarily the case. These guys do have melee weapons and are more than willing and able to shoot down and attack French knights. Well, there we go, guys. We got the first auto break, and you can just see how that constant auto breaking and going back and forth would lead to the classic routes at the Battle of Agincourt. I absolutely love that. Morale checks all around for these guys. So after, of course, a nice amount of peppering, I'm almost certain that you could break this group of knights and this group of knights fairly easily, and again, cause a morale check to everybody surrounding them. Again, we're trying to break another group there, and an auto break once again, disrupting yet another group of French knights. Hell, if we wanted to, we could charge in with the longbowmen. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm actually going to turn and fire and just try to keep that route going. Come on, boys. Beautiful. We've got fragmentation already. I was kind of hoping we'd get a shot. We might still be able to get sort of a lighthearted shot, as it were. And I'm actually going to charge in, guys, with the longbowmen. As you can see, and this is just beautifully done by the creators, that was a muddy field, so the second I charged, quite similar to the actual battle, those knights were unable to defend themselves, and even though these were just longbowmen, we absolutely routed them, crushed them with a melee attack. Well, I already like what they've shown so far here. Let's take a look at yet another battle that this DLC has to offer. Now, I think it's only fair that we take a look at the campaigns here in the game, and one of those is going to be the 100 Years' War, which without a doubt I consider, you know, one of the most epic campaigns the game has yet given us. So I want to jump in the 100 Years' War as the English, and I just want to kind of see exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to start, what our, you know, initial battles are going to look like, etc. Let's go with the Baron difficulty setting. I'm by no means a master at this game, as many have reminded me. So let's go ahead and create that. All right, 1340 AD. In 1340, Flanders was in revolt against its French suzerains and readily agreed to an alliance with Edward III of England. On 24th of February, the English fleet under Edward III defeated a Franco-Genoese fleet under Hugh Queret, the Admiral of France. All right, so it looks like we're going to be jumping in here for our first fight, an Anglo-Flemish army against the French. I can't wait to see kind of what we have to look at here, or what the game is going to offer, but absolutely fascinating. We will go ahead and autofill. Of course, if you guys want to set this up on your own, please do. I like to let the game, especially when I'm just doing a gameplay video, I like the game to go ahead and select things themselves. But look at that. I mean, we've got some proper light guns, and just look at the way that the spearmen look. Absolutely beautiful, the Welsh spearmen. So this is going to be, of course, our English and Flemish line preparing to do battle with the enemy. We've got the front line right there. Let's end the turn, and let's get started. Oh, wait a minute. Commanders to place. My apologies. You know what? I want to put one of the commanders... Yeah, let's give it to the Welsh spearmen. Now, another cool thing, and this seems new as well, naming the unit. So this allows you to go ahead and name your units. And I'll put one of the commanders back here with the halberdiers. Seems good enough to me. Let's see what the French have to offer. Aha, so quite interesting, especially for the first battle in the 100 Years' War. Really well represented. Of course, the English with their spearmen and their archers, and the French with their mounted knights. They certainly have a much more expensive army, but it looks like we might just have more men than them. So I really love that initial start here. What I want to do, though, is fire these light guns, get a taste of the actual ranged combat that we have available here. But let's go ahead and push forward with the entire frontal line. Now, of course, if I were actually following through with this campaign, I likely would not just go for an instant push forward. But since we're just taking a look, I'm going to do just that. It looks like we do have our own group of knights here, but it's one tiny group of men-at-arms. Certainly not enough to take on that massive group of French knights. But I'd like to think that these spearmen would come in very, very handy in a fight like this. Now, I'd like to think we're going to be able to open fire. Yes. Oh, that is tremendous. Getting a lot of pike and shot vibes from that. Let's get another shot there. 17. So I have to say these guns do a nice amount of damage for sure. I do wish we had a few more longbowmen, and of course, if I had set this up properly, what I would have probably done is simply kept the longbowmen over here, kept our spearmen here, with maybe some support back here in the woods from the brigands and ribalds, to defend the longbowmen just in case they get overrun by the enemy cavalry. But already, I really like this starting fight for the 100 Years' War. This is pretty epic, and it does seem like, at least for the first fight, you know, much like these initial battles in this game, it's not going to be too challenging for the English player. Obviously, things are probably going to get more and more challenging, especially if you take the progressive difficulty setting, which really, you know, adds a new level of difficulty to each battle. But already I can see sort of how this is going to progress, just slowly but surely encircling the enemy with our Flemish spearmen and with our British longbowmen and shutting them down little by little. Now, I promised you guys another look at an epic battle, and we are here at the Battle of Crecy. And I just want you guys to just marvel at the beauty of this battlefield. There's no doubt about it, the Field of Glory team has really improved in terms of the battlefield creation here. I mean, this does look properly like the battlefield of Crecy, even with locations, etc. And again, in front of us, the massive French force with their mercenary men-at-arms and their French mounted knights prepared to do battle with our English forces. Well, guys, what can I say? This new DLC looks absolutely fascinating. I haven't really been let down yet by the Field of Glory medieval team, so I'm hoping that this one is going to be just as awesome as the others, and obviously some nice tricks up their sleeves with that 100 Years' War campaign. I truly think that that could be a standalone DLC by itself. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more, then what I want you to do in the comments down below is let me know, what do you want to see next? Do you want us to do an epic battle, and if so, which? Or do you want us to start a campaign in this particular DLC? And if so, which campaign? I already know the answer to the campaign, probably the 100 Years' War, but French, English, etc. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you'd be so kind, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back with some more strategy action in the next video.